Good morning. In the Matahao tradition, we are late to our own funeral, so forgive me for being late. And maybe that's not a Matahao thing, maybe that's just me. We would have been here earlier, but of course we're late, and I apologize, Auntie Marianne, that we're late. So as we're up there, CD tells us it's open mic, so I was like, oh great, we missed opening prayer. Now she's really gonna get mad because we missed the opening prayer. And so I figured I'd come up and share a few things about my Auntie Marianne. Now for those of you who knew Auntie Marianne, there's only one word or two words that we can associate with Auntie Marianne. That is, first and foremost, karaoke. Second, the Lord. Of course, we know the Lord is always first for her, but karaoke. And so last night, as I was telling stories about Auntie Marianne, and I was like, I remember she was the first lady to ever own a karaoke machine. And we lived here at Euless at the time, and we were lived with Cede, and I didn't know what a karaoke machine was, but Auntie Marianne owned a karaoke machine. And it was the kind, believe it, kids, back in the days, it was a cassette tape. And so it had to be rewinded all the time. You couldn't just press that button and it automatically went. And so I remember she would call, first Venny, because he's the oldest. Venny, how, you need to come sing, and literally take the mic. And no, I don't want to sing. And, and I would get my kids because they didn't want to sing. So as we're talking about this karaoke and how, went from Benny, and everybody gets piano lessons, but not Meleana's children, they had karaoke lessons. And that was even before you hook up the TV, and we didn't even have the cell phones at the time. So that was real. The struggle was real for me because I had to listen to these kids sing. And so after Benny, it was Saya's, how Saya, to sing for 15 minutes. And then the funny thing is, they had to sing Elvis Presley. Who sang Elvis Presley? But she wanted to make sure these kids sang. And so as time went on, and then, we all grow up, and then I hear about this Tongan cowboy. And I go, who is Tongan cowboy? Then I find out it's actually Saya. And I go, oh, my aunt's hard work of beating those kids up to sing, it paid off. Kind of like piano lessons. It pays off, and you end up being, this professional pianist. So then when I heard Saya and Benny sing, and I said, all the times that Auntie would beat you guys up, Oksi Alma. The seed that she planted was so worth it. Because I call on Saya on everything. Can you represent the family? I need you to sing Tongan Cowboy. And so we realized last night, that's how Tongan Cowboy was born. Was this karaoke machine that kept rewind every 5 seconds to get the tone right, the tune. And keep in mind, my aunt didn't have a voice. She was little. So I was like, how is she instructing these kids? So when I see the kids now, I'm like, wow, I guess you don't have to really, learn how to know how to sing, as long as the kids are in tune themselves. And so I was really, really impressed with that, as I see now that the kids sing. Like this says she doesn't sing, but that's okay. She's like me, I don't sing either, but we have other talents. But I was so, that's one thing that I had seen. Another thing that I had seen too with Auntie Marianne, on the part with the godly side, she was a very humble lady. She barely ever got mad. And I remember one time they had this car and it always broke down, and she had an interview in Dallas. And Uncle Siona was like, I'm gonna let you use the car. It's pretty far, but don't break it. And she goes, I won't. So she packed all of us kids in there. Of course I'm older. And so she says, you're gonna stay with the kids. I'm gonna go inside for the interview, and I'll be right back. Do not touch the car. And I go, oh, don't worry, I won't. And so, I'm looking around, I'm like, this is a pretty big parking lot. I think I could probably just get away with just driving around. Well, I drove around, come to find out the car died out. And so I'm like, oh great, with the kids in here, now I'm gonna get in trouble. So Meleana comes out and I'm expecting her to be just like my mom and yell at me and beat me up. And she comes and she goes, how did the car move? I said, I don't know, I was just trying to like just park it straight. She goes, but it already was. And I said, I don't know. She goes, you moved it. And I said, I wasn't really like moved it. She goes, no, I know you drove it. So I said, no, I didn't. So she comes in and she starts the car and it couldn't start. I go, what happened? She goes, did you drive this car? I go, no, I didn't. And she says, yes, you did. And that was it. And she says, now I have to call my husband and tell him the car is broken. And I'm thinking, oh, great. You know, Sienna looks like he's gonna beat me up. You know, he's this big guy and he just looks so mean and I was so scared. And then he came and he knew it was me and he didn't really do anything. We eventually got the car fixed. You know, this lady here was a very, very humble, soft-spoken, didn't really yell. And that's one thing that I learned from her was that she was very soft-spoken. What she instilled in the kids to use their voices, she wanted more than anything for them to be able to sing. But most importantly, what she wanted kids was for you guys to have a voice for the Lord. Take this time to think about the seeds that she planted. Take the time to try to plant the seeds in your own family because your mother loved greatly and you kids know that. I want to express my love to you. Children, the best thing that she did leave behind was her legacy, which is her children and her grandchildren. And I want to express my love to you all. And I know that she's going to watch over you guys and just know that she is on the other side karaoke with your dad, Elvis Presley, music, and that she is here to encourage all of you. And if you take a little moment in your life just to be still, I promise you will be able to feel her because the Lord has given us the gift of the Spirit and our families are forever. And this is my testimony that I leave with you all. In the name of my Son, Jesus Christ, amen.
kou kore keu uwhanga i ngati whatanga. Sono whawhai pe pe kunga rea koe ni. A tāma mo ki koe ni. Ke whapatu ki lea o pake ofa ki whanau pe whamiri. Pe fo ki whamopuna pe whae koe ni. Ko Meleana foko Motokano whakawa atu, Tony Block, ko tu au i Seattle, Washington. Ia ulahi pune ki pekia. Kawai ni lava mai, ni loto mai tonu. Ia whanoa be ko kahawa mai an ofa ki te hina koe. Koe Meleana foki na hiki mai ki Amerikani, mafu ke hiki au. Ene ke kia hafu whekutaki, maheni mo ia, to kia mai ke konga rungi mo ini, to whai te maheni au. Ko la vei koe whakaingoa koe na Meleana, e toko ua ia, o ne kui, hei mau kui ua ia, ko kui koe na Meleana, koe whine ko mele wha, ai Meleana foko ne tamai ai foni, pe koe whae koe ai foni ko mele wha, koe toko ua mele wha, ko mele ana, ai o whahingo ki ai whae koe. Koe o katak whamore more pe ai ni, kei nau ke ni, ki whatafa whamiri ai ne te ahi, i koe o mea mai, ki whalangangi, tala e tau ofa, pe koe tau manaki, ki he whae koe. Ki he ku whakaukau ki he whae koe ni, pere mai ki he ni malolo, whankoro pe koe tonga ani koe ni o Meleana si koe inoki. Pe ma whiloa ki ai, ma whupau tāno ai, pe wha telefoni angi siap, wha telefoni angi o tāno koe no whae. Pe ai ni whaha mai koe ni malolo, alu lewa e whakakau i ngahi ngā ure lei na e whai, kai ki ngata be e pekia, ka koe whamiri pia koe kui koe ni, me tokata koe ni tupu hei Meleana. Ku tūngai, ku ongo i au e mawhana na koe si fia, e ku mamata, i motou, ka me e koki i e nea tui ki ai, e whamiri koe ni. Mea ia o uonga mau peka te au whamao ia, koe uhi na e tupo e toka koe ni, pe tupo e whamiri koe ni, pe o maua he whainga maari, e ukau ai ki he ngōre lea sisu kaisi. O tui te tau, pe koe mea ne tui te e whainga. Ne hifo sisu kaisi o pikia, whaawe na te pā, kau maua he whainga maari, kau te tupo. Pe lava maua e whaabi. Taimi, te o tui koe toko tāko ni na whahoko na ua koe na hoa whiona. Ai sila i tempare, te moi whanau, ka te whoke tupu ake whanau ni i he malo, malo. Malo he lakanga whatau la iki, na whafoki mai ia, i lai sia. Whafoki mai i he malo. Ai nai ki, whaaba whono. Vai que dá mal, não é que tem, da dor não falta, é fome. Foi aí, quando eu vi que ele falava com ele, lá estou getting na dor, para ele não imagina falta mal. So I just like to see a few words in English, especially to Meleana and Siona's children, grandkids. Did your mom? It's something that thing that you need to treasure, you need to think about things that she believes, she has a testimony of our Savior Jesus Christ. She knew that someday that we will be resurrected again. grew up in a different faith, and I joined the church when I was a teenager. And as I think about Meleana, and as I think about my grandfather, Ifoni, and what they have done in Hawaii and here in the United States, that gives me an opportunity, and because of that sacrifice that they have done, I felt that I am privileged to enjoy the blessings of the fullness of the gospel of Jesus Christ. And like there, Saya and your siblings and your children, hope that you that this is not the end of life. There is a continuance, and death is not the end of it. I have the blessings of working in the temple in Seattle. I have the privilege to be one of the temple sealers here. A lot of times we see families that have lost their loved ones. When they come to the temple, the house of the Lord, they feel at home. It's a holy place, and Aunty Meleana knew that, and she had a testimony of that. And I am here to not only send you my love, but hope that you do not forget that, and that's something that you can treasure and stay true to the gospel of Jesus Christ. I know that my aunt here is probably smiling from above, seeing us all gather here in this chapel, and I hope if you have not, make it a commitment in your life. You can attend church, renew your covenants and sacraments, and of course, prepare yourself to go to the temple if you have not, and so that you can see your end again. It's something that I think that we take it for granted as a member of the church. But this gospel of Jesus Christ, that we enjoy the full blessings and give us hope that someday we'll live again. Kaya kaya nga ko mali ki bawat of a pay pero mo manat vai go ni ma fai nga mali go yo lo ke tau ma ta ke ni ai ko fa ma lo la he tuen ki fa to ngani go yo na ko an ko fa hangi kana to ke na ma fa le we lo ke na ma be no ngo pasia fa pa ki to fini go ni Fala het dat ik moet al een of wat dat ik dat ik het begin familie option dat ik dit in the walk away before I think we learn about Jonah, Prophet Jonah. Jonah didn't want to go to Nineveh because he did not like them. And people in Nineveh did not like the people in Jerusalem. And we know the great story. And I think Jonah and Meleana brings us together as a family, and we developed a Christ-like love that is it's beyond this earthly life. Kaya formalo beya pe oba ofat ke mo tole kai ke ho te family fito hen fanau mo fa mo bona Meleana for me to an family of the fai wa fascismo Christ.
Ko lo pe ba dai ni ko te mai ko iba be ko os pe ko kamata leva ai le ai family. Be ko mata poto ko ga o ha. Ko i hai ko la fa malo hen ke tamai e mani ko ui ko ha pong pong fa fa o ta fa ta mai ke ta fa heke heka ai toko ua koen, pe koe grandma, pe koe whae, ke whanau koen o tau whatata mai pongponi. Ko o wai pek manat me lihe ki e, tō tā koen. Na wao e fiku ngofulu ki San Francisco. Na ahia tō taha ko ni he api ko ni na nofo ai. Ai o ako e seta mori hati unga. Ai ko me tanga ai. Pea kuai pene ki Stacy mo e ken pea nofo pe ia i whaego na wherila mo me ia siulolo mo me. E taimi ko nei asi mai tō taha ko ni ki api ko ni. Na hangea ko ha mau toko ua mo oni. He ko ue ko mea pe ma tarat ko Meleana kene whai. E whai mea Meleana ai mea ko ia. Ko tahine anga lelei, ko tahine o prea mo ono. Ko tahine o kukaike ne anga whapautai a mea. Pe ko taimi ko ne hau ko ia, na ia lewa ko toko ua ko mo ilo pe a kalo unga whaaumu, ko no best friend o ona. Ne tala mai no ofu ka Meleana ko ke la mau puke. Ko e toko taha ko e ni, ko e bodyguard a Meleana kia ka. E ko ui ko mea peo tarate kalo ke iki tene whai. Pea nai whai pe ko ia, pea mamari whakataha ke ongo tau te hina. Maari ia ka siona, maari ia ke sisi taha ko au sia mau mai. Pea whai mai whono ngā mo mea, na mafu wa ofi apita mo Meleana mo na whanau. Ko iloi, ko alwa Meleana. Ko a pene u tohe family. Ke u hoko ate nofo mo i whanau ko ni. Ko maa o whalahi, mo hausia, ke tiku mo tolu, whanau a siona, ko whakamoko puna. Tau kau mai ki hene. Ko o whalahi atu, ki hongo sister-in-law, aini ukumari mai ki whaniri ko ni. Ko lelu Maumalanga, pea molo Susana Maumalanga. Whamalo la ya te ki moa, ko mo mai, o fuesia. Ai anga tau nofo i whamiri ko ni. O logo whamiri ko ni, ko whamiri o pau ke te kau a mea katoa me. Pea ko whamalo at ka te ki mo tolu. Whamalo at heni pene, a kau pei area. Whanau ka hoa vai nuku, a kua sini mo kaliko mo mea katoa mo tolu ko toa pe. I kai ke o toi lau hingoa. Whamalo at heni ki a o heni whaka mo si moa. Taini ko miki, ko kau mea ia ko kau mea mamai no o Meleana. Pea koe ko whaini wa whaalo si Christ. Amen.
Good morning, everybody. Ko le wehi u whame mai tau patapu mo kai ni ga tāke te au ki u whahau na te au ki o waki ofa. Ya, Meleana. Those of you that don't know me, my name is George. I live here in Salt Lake, and just got the word last week that Meleana had passed. I didn't think I was going to be part of the program, but since it was open mic, I thought I'd take advantage of this opportunity to send my condolences to my Aunt Meleana and the rest of the children, the grandchildren, the rest of the family. But I don't have a whole lot of memories, like most of you have living here in Texas, but I do have some important memories. Before Meleana got married and had her own children, we were her children. My father, Ehasi, was older, so when Meleana came from Tonga, she stayed at our house, and she was the one that took care of me and my siblings. And between our house and Papa's house, we had the opportunity to share her love. When Saya called me last week and said that she had passed, you know, the only thing I was thinking about is just kind of reminisce of what I remember of her growing up. I always thought she was the best babysitter because we got away with everything. You know, we never get in trouble. She would always take the blame for things, and that's one thing I remember about her. But one last thing that came to mind, last week me and Saya, a couple weeks ago, we had the privilege of providing security detail for the princess all week while she was in Salt Lake. So as we were driving her around to a lot of the events that was happening, Saya get the text as he's driving. I go, who's that? Well, that's my mom. I go, what she want? Well, she just reminded me I need to be appropriate in what I say and and how I dress. And I said, you know, and then one thing that came to mind was, it kind of reminded me that we sometimes lose now as we become adults and who we are. And some parents forget their role, the most important role as being a parent. Is it doesn't end just because your children are adults, just because your children have money or whatnot, whatever their status may be. But as a parent, you continue to teach, and that's what she was doing, is continually and constantly reminding him of his role, not only as a father, but his responsibility to the family. And I thank her for that, because it just kind of reminded me, my role as a father, it doesn't end now that my kids are adults. Whether they do what I ask them, my part as a father, I will continue to teach. And I thank you, Meleana, for the example and the reminder to me of being a better parent. I love you very much. I truly miss you. I send my love to her children, the rest of the family, and all of you that are here paying respect at this time. And say this, she'll surely be missed. Because I remember the last time I seen her, she was in Salt Lake visiting, and she was at the hospital, and I came to visit, and she had asked for being Sayat to give her a blessing at the hospital. That's the last time I'd seen her, and then she moved on to her daughter's house. But other than that, thank you, and we are better people, better nephews and nieces, better families because of your examples and the love and kindness that you've shown us. And with that, I leave in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Kaya nga lot ko fifi pito. Kaya mari ko ko maho. Ke fahari mana tu meri hemikia Meleana. Ko Meleana moau ko kulahe fae Meleana kasi fae. Tahiva ono wana hawa kutamai ki Amerikani. Pe ana loto kutamai ke omaya hasi. Ke mui mai ai minga ke ha otokoni ki ai hono fetuku mai family fae. Na ke loto fae ke o mai ne family teria na fua a family tamai. Kana loto lahi pe tamai ke o mai hasi ke ha otokoni ki ai. Pia ko pinga ia nei ho. Ha wa e toi na family kuinga ko o mai hasi. Ko hasi mo Meleana na hoko pe ia ko ngai mau whanau. Na o maha o Meleana o nofo mautolu, na hoko pia koe lahia. Pea ko loto ke whaha te whangi manatu merie e ku manatu ki a Meleana. My mom would always have family home evening every Monday. And Meleana was the only one who had talent in singing. And I remember clearly the words and the song that she sang, and I'm going to sing it to you, just the thing that I remember. And I said to myself, where do you get that song? But don't forget, Meleana just came from Tonga, right? And Tonga, they just probably make up their own words, and it goes like this. Saipe, I really like your fo'ianga. Saipe, I like your sweet smile. And I said, what kind of song is that? But Marianne, I did not forget. You know, if she was alive or she was like this, oh, that little girl's a little devil. She remembers everything. When I moved here to Texas, Marianne says, hey, let's go work for the airlines. So we went to reservation over here at the headquarters, and they had a group interview. So me and Meleana was in that interview, and one of their tricky question was, when was the last time you were mad? And when it came to Marianne, Marianne said, I just got mad at my husband and I wanted to shoot him. Oh my gosh, I said, for sure you're not gonna make it. And guess what? I made it to the interview and she flunked the test. But she was telling the truth. That's Marianne. She never got mad at anybody. And my other memory of Marianne is her husband got laid off. And I didn't know that my husband helped them out of our pocket. And so my husband didn't even tell me, and Marianne came up to me and said, Sini, I can't believe you guys would give us so much money like that. And I said, oh yeah? She goes, yeah, thank you for helping us. Instead of saying thank you, she keeps saying over and over, she goes, are you sure you want to give us that much? The more she told me, the more I got madder because I didn't know nothing about it. You know, and then Marianne would keep going, are you sure it's okay with you? I was going to say, Marianne, you're making me mad right now because I don't know how much amount and what money did my husband give to you out of our pocket. But anyway, that's Marianne's true color. We went to Salt Lake City, and my dad, he has a mean face. I was always scared of my dad. And Marianne and my sister Ile, there's 11 of us, and my Ile already passed away. So Marianne's gonna have a good reunion with Ile. And Ile and Marianne wanted to go hang out at the Temple Square. And so they said, ask Sini, she has a big mouth. Maybe Mapa will let us go. Tell her to go ask if we could go hang out at the Temple Square. So they said, Sini, go ask Dad if we could go hang out and we'll take you with us. And knowing me, I was so scared, I went up to my dad and I said, okay, 1, 2, 3. Mapa, Temple Square. And my dad goes, okay, mo bed, mo babe, don't go nowhere. And when it got to us going, Marianne goes, just leave her. And so they left me behind and I was crying. Because Marianne didn't want to take me because she know I will come and tattle on her. Because she never forget, we went to the laundromat and that's how I met Siona. Siona came to the laundromat, asked Meleana if she were to date. Meleana gave me a candy. She goes, go pelo the full and don't say anything. And surely enough, when I went home, I said, Silolo, there was a guy that came to the home. And he looks like he's gone on. And so ever since that, Marianne knew I was a little tattletale. And she never wanted to tag me along in, you know, their lady stuff when they go around. But anyway, Meleana ofalahi atukako ififine amalele lahi tokoa amalele lahi ofapeke mui mui hohala, which I'm not. Kako mahena falahi kefanao. I want to tell you how much I love you guys. You guys are very lucky to have a mom like this. I scream all the time. I'm the man of the house. They don't listen to me, they get it. But these kids here are very lucky to have a humble mom. And I say this name, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Maobi, koe whaingamare ko ni te tau tukurewa ki he whanau. Where did she go? The ukulele player. Sila? Is Sila out here? Anyway, we'll move on. This time we will hear from, so we will go from the youngest to the oldest. Jeff and your family, the time is yours. Ko ki mau tōru mau whie mai o sio whaosi ki he pekia, ka whie mo pekia, mau mea mai peki mau tōru, ko o se on fulu me on fulu, ko tāpune tāpua, mano.
For those of you guys that don't know me, I'm Meleana's youngest son, and then after me is Priscilla. Don't really know what to say. I'm pretty blind. I recognize some of you, so if you see me, it looks like I'm not. Just come closer. But I'm not as, maybe I'm hasn't hit yet, but I'm not as sad as I thought I would be because I feel like I already know where she's going. And so there's like 0% that I know my mom's where she's gonna go. And it's probably the biggest blessing in, I think, our lives is that we have a
very righteous mother, despite our behavior. But I just think about all the times when we lived like in Hearst and Euless, and man, they're some of the best. They're some of the best memories that I have. Growing up with my first cousins with my mom's family, as well as my dad's. But there's just so many memories about her. Like, I just remember growing up. I think like I was like 3, and my mom had sustained an injury at the job, and we put her out of work. Fast forward, we were poor. And I just remember thinking that, you know, back then it was, I don't know, it was kind of embarrassing because they had like the paper food stamps. You know? At least now there's a little more dignity because you gotta have the card. You gotta slide the card. And I remember we lived in 3rd building at Pine Hollow, and we had a Nintendo, so all the kids came over. And I don't know which cousin it was, but somebody said to the, you know, they call it food stamps, like monopoly money. And my cousin said something like, man, I'm hungry. My mom was like, Jeff, go grab my purse. I was like in 3rd grade. I was like, for what? She was like, you know, so I can get you guys some FS. And I was like, I'm like 9, but I think he just told everybody in the room, because one of my cousins was like, he just told everybody this was there. Don't get me wrong, I'm not talking down on you because I want some right now. It's kind of tough. No, but all jokes aside, man, I love my mom to death, and I kind of felt like I knew it was coming because the past 3 years, but she went from texting once every 2 weeks to where it was becoming more frequent, you know. And we have a little daughter, and I'm at the age where I'm corny to her right now. So every time my mother would text me, I would immediately text her back. And then I got to where I just started calling her back. And every time she would text, I would call her, because I was thinking to myself, I don't know which time is going to be the last time, but it felt like a ticking bomb, and I could just kind of feel it. And so when I found out, I was taking a shower, and she was like, hey, get on the phone. I was like, dude, I'm not finished yet. She was like, no, it's your sister, you can talk to her, it's about your mom. Right when she said that, I already knew. And so I was like, dang it, dude, you know, it's never convenient. But yeah, no matter what, no matter how bad or anything, I just knew, you know, my mother taught us about the gospel, and we all chose our own paths. You know, I'm not scared for my mom at all. I'm more scared for us. But, you know, we're all working our salvation out and doing our best to, you know, be family people now. And I'm just grateful for all the associations that we've had over the years with a lot of you. Grateful for all of my mom's brothers and sisters. And, you know, it's a different experience now because I feel like these past couple of weeks I've got to spend time even with my dad's brother and his mom and his wife, and I said, man, I'm grateful that my uncles and aunts, you guys are like our parents now, so if you see us coming around a little bit more and kind of knowing you, it's just that. I'm gonna miss it, and that's just really what it is. I know I'm gonna miss her bugging me. And if you're friends with me on social media, my no filter comes from this lady, because this is the only person that can get me, so I have to block her. Because every time I'll say something, you know, this is almost every post, this lady will come and cut me, and I'll be like, man, the only person that bugs me is this lady. Because she'll get me after me trying to get. Anyways, it's from her. Or I'm just very blunt. I just don't even care what anyone says. I'm not even thinking. I just will just say it. That's 100% from this lady. And people tell me, say, man, you like your mom, but. And so I'm proof that we both kind of smart and slow at the same time. But
Yeah, I'm just so grateful to all my uncles and aunts, everyone that was able to come through and show support for our family. Love me Uncle Vita and Auntie Sini and Uncle Sia and Auntie Ana, Uncle Star. You know, I'm always the type to leave names out. My Fijian brother, I would have been hanging out with for like 8 years, flew in, and he's actually family on mom's side. And grateful for my brothers and sisters, all my nieces and nephews, and all my cousins, and of course our Texas family. We're all in Salt Lake now. Hex and Shelley and Vita and all you guys. Everybody's blurry to me, so sunglasses don't come off. But just wanted to thank you guys, and like I said, if I leave anybody's name out or any recognition, just know that I'm grateful for all of you. And like I said, I don't really know what to say because this time around I'm not necessarily fearful for her because it was not, I've seen her mad, but I can't remember hearing her cuss. Well, she might have, but I don't remember. But she kept my dad's head. She kept my dad good. I think when she gets to heaven, my dad's gonna say, "Why are you sending money to Nigeria?" Everything's cool. Just kidding. I love my mom. I love you, Mom. You know, taught me how to be kind, but it's too kind. And just hope you help us on the other side because I'm gonna need all the help we get. And, I say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Don't mind my husband. Whiwhia whenga maaria koe ni ke kaunga kawa to he lea he ahoni. Nā tāngo koa ke hauko whai maaria pa ma whiunga pia ma ki family sisi. Ko tupe whakamalo ke tamahewani ko ngā koe whatahataha mai tautou ke taulo nuk mai whare koe ni. Koe whae koe ni ko Meleana. He whanonga me whakau malolo hiki whine eki. Me and my husband were talking and I was like, kind of go back into the memories of when I first met her. First thing that she asked me is like about my testimony in the gospel. And then we just kind of went on to a whole Relief Society lesson right there. She was telling me about all the kids and I told my husband, she was telling me they're so ba'u. One story that my husband always told me is like, one day my mom told me, she's like, "Jeff, I found you at the Falefo." And he was crying. He's like, Jeff was crying. He's like, "You seriously found me at the laundromat?" and then a few years later, after we got married, Jeff asked Mom, "Why did you say that?" And she was just laughing. She was like, "You were so ba'u. I didn't know how to get you to stop being ba'u." But every time she would tell me about all the kids, one thing that I found in common up to this day is, despite all the hardship and all the ba'u that all did, especially the boys, all the boys are Mama's boys. She was always very helpful. And I always ask myself, are you seriously thinking all of these kids will be making it to that site, after everything? And she talks about Saya, she talks about Benny, she talks about Sila. And she's like, these kids, they do have a testimony. And I love that. I want all the kids to know that because of your mom's prayers and her testimony, that's why you're able to come through in life. Looking at your kids and your grandkids and your posterity. I hope you realize and learn that from her. About 9 years ago, before Siona passed away, she became a mother, a friend, a mother-in-law. I never looked at her any different. Every time she would come, she's like, and I never looked at her any different, and she treated me as a daughter, and I'm very appreciative of it. This is all a path that we have to go through. Saya was joking about it the other day. He's like, everyone wants to go to heaven, but no one wants to pass away. So I wish and hope that all of us brothers and sisters, we are prepared to go through this path of life, because that is the way that we're able to return back to live with our Heavenly Father. I have a very strong testimony of this gospel, and I'm grateful for it. Our daughter is not here, but she sent her love in regards to everyone. I hope that we all live as in-laws and as kids and grandkids as a living witness of Meleana. Like everyone said, she never lies. Oftentimes she would say things to me and I'm like, no, she didn't just say that. But like the saying goes, the truth does hurt, you know? I needed to hear that. And I was like, if she looked at me as a daughter, she would say anything that she would say to her kids also. So, whakamalo atu he ni taha ko te na e hao o hoko ko whakanonga mo whakawhia maari ki mau tohi ngai taimi ko eni. He peki rea ko whai wa whanau skola is amen.
Sila.
I know, y'all know I was ready, but I was gonna save the best for last, but so I can give y'all a heart attack now, and then the boys can just close it down or just calm it. Okay. I was named after Priscilla Presley. And at my dad's funeral, I said, "Dad, I'm named after two white women." Like, what's going on? My mom did things the following way too, because I really should have been in the hospital so many times for repo. Except for that one time that Jeff uppercutted me out of nowhere. I put my head back, I was bleeding, I was like, I looked at my dad, and this was the first time he looked at me like, man, you just hurt me this time. My mom already knows what's up. I mean, I have sort of, like, at all, you know? But, I guess when they say that, I'm gonna take people for granted because you think they're always gonna be there, but they're not. Not only is my mom gone and she's dying, dead. I guess I am too, because I know nobody else is gonna talk to me no more. They're like, oh, you don't have your mom to protect you no more. I'm like, oh, okay, bye. But I guess this is what it's gonna take to turn everything around. So sorry, it's kind of late. I'm mature. Love you, Mom. And I thought being away from you was gonna give you, less of a heart attack, but maybe I was the favorite, the most loved. I just want to thank everybody who helped. Because I know y'all did a lot while I just did one little table outside, but it's great. It took me a week. And everybody else and my siblings and my nieces and nephews and them for being patient. And I've been patient too, so after this, I will go back to normal. So, watch your mouth. Anyway, thank you. guys. Thank you, my uncle, and everybody else that came from out of town. I just want to say I love y'all. And I love each and every one of y'all. I say these humbly names.
Thank you.
thank everybody for being here today. My name is Laita. I am the middle child of Sana and Meleana. And I don't like these. I don't like to be put on the spot. I don't like talking in front of nobody. You know, I like to be loud in the corner, loud on the side, but not in front of everybody. Everybody's watching me, but there's a lot to say about my mom. Having her live with me the past 7 years has been, we've had our ups and downs. If you know us well, you know my mom is very, very lenient, kind-hearted, always pakagata all the time. And I am so itawabe all the time. I take after my dad when it comes to my short temper. So any little thing, like when she likes to joke and I'm not wanting to joke, I just look at her and I'm just like, and I have so many stories about her, and she would always tell me when we were growing up, take it off, or file it. When it came to my attitude, every time she'd turn around, she'd say, oh, you wait, one of these days, you know, you're gonna have a daughter, you're gonna know what it's like every time I follow or every time I do something wrong. And I was like, that's why I'm not having any kids. And here I am with 6. And man, do I know exactly what she means. Because I have a daughter named Obi that is my match. And every day I sit there and I tahulu her and I have to sit there and think. All the warnings and all my cousins would tell me on my mom's side, oh, so you're not having any, now you know what it's like, what your mom used to. Yeah, my mom used to beat me up all the time. If you don't know my mom, when we lived in Pine Hollow, I think I got the vacuum cord all the time. But nobody ever knows that she was like that because it was just me. I was the only one that she would be upset with all the time. But growing up, I spent a lot of time at Faye and Aunty's house, Faye and Nadina's house a lot. I was there a lot. And there were times when she would come to the house and say like that, Daddy said for you to come home. And I'm like, no, he didn't. And she'd be like, how? No. And we end up fighting in the driveway. And I'm like, Mom, I don't want to go home. What is so wrong with me staying here? It's just nothing but girls. She's like, he wants you to come home, and I know it wasn't her. I think she just, him, it was just her. She just wanted me. She missed me. She wanted me to come home, wanted me to spend time with Sila, but I'm like, man, that she's like still in diapers, and I'm over here a teenager. And she's like, I had Sila for you. You know, I wanted you to have a sister, and I was like, Dad, you had her when I was almost a teenager. What am I supposed to do with that? And she was like, but I had her for you, we thought, and I was like, okay. But my mom was another memory of her growing up. Everybody knows that when we came home from school, we always, no matter what it was, we always had a cooked meal waiting. And it, like I said, no matter what it was, and whatever we had in the freezer. But you know, when you're little, when I think about it now, it's like, man, I cannot. You guys, it's not even a, everybody knows she didn't know how to cook. Everybody knows my mom did not know how to cook. It's a running joke, but anything she found that was in the freezer, in the cabinet, whatever we had, you know, we grew up poor, you know, so whatever we had, whatever was in the refrigerator, whatever's in the cupboard, expired or not, she threw it in the pot. And we came home. I mean, everybody knows that it's not a running joke. All my first cousins, everybody on my mom's side, everybody knew, everybody had a home cooked hot meal when they came home from school, no matter what it was. So I used to be, she'd have me in the kitchen when I'm older now, and she'd be like, oh, that's not how you do it. And I'm like, no, you did it. And I know you ain't trying to tell me how to cook. But I appreciate, when I think about all the memories back then, I am very grateful. The very little that we had, she always found a way to make do. And I never learned how to appreciate that. And now that she's gone, it took me like 2 days after she passed to realize what was going on. And stared at the wall. Like, is this really it? All the fights we've had, all the arguments, disagreements we've had, is this it? And I have so much regret not appreciating her more. I mean, I love my mom with everything I have. There's just always that little voice in the back of your mind that's always like, man, I should have did this better. I could have did this better. I could have been a better daughter. I could have been less angry. She was like that. I can forgive my Asila. I'm like, no. I don't know how many times I've had this conversation. You guys know me and Asila bump heads big time, and I don't know how many times I kicked her out. My mom would be like, I can fucking my Asila. Whatever, no. She came to Texas, went to Salt Lake, went here, Asila always came back. And then this last time past couple months, she was like this, please. And I knew, now that I look back, I think she knew. And she just worried about Sila a lot. And I remember the last few times she passed me, and I said, Mom, if you ask me one more time, you're gonna go live with Sila. She's like, yeah. And I'm like, man, you know, I am 45, almost 45 years old. My oldest kid is not 31. Sila is not my kid. No matter anything we did or anything we went through, she never saw the flaws in any of us. She always wanted us to do better. She always wanted us to make sure, no matter what, we love one another. I know it's gonna be hard because now my kids are like, man, Mom, I wish I would have listened to her more. I mean, everybody has their regrets, but now we're gonna miss her walking up and down the hallway, looking in the cabinet, closing the refrigerator, open the refrigerator, close the cabinet, open the microwave, close the microwave. But towards the end, this lady, all she cared about was her food. She'd be like it. Oh, my fantama ko pork belly. And I'm like, no, you can't even eat that. She's like, I don't care. Like, she knew I would never get her what she wanted, and if I felt like it was not good for her to eat, I wouldn't go get it. But then here comes Henry with Church's chicken or Kentucky. She's like, I just told Henry, oh, Henry brought it. She knew anything she asked Henry to go do, Henry would always go get it. And I'd get mad and yell and be upset. But I'm grateful that he was at least able to give her what she wanted to eat towards the end and not worry. She would always want, like, I say, what do you want from the store when I'm on my way home? Can you give me a number 1 for McDonald's and a fillet of fish? And then can you stop at Quick Trip and get me like the 10, the cakes, the individual cakes? Give me 10 of them, so whenever I just want it, I don't just go eat it. And I'm like, 10 cakes? I was like, I just eat 1 a day. No, that's a lie. I already know. Every time she wants to go to the kitchen, she'll probably look for 1. But anyways, I just wanted to express my love to each and every one of you. I would like to thank my siblings and their Hawans for everything that they've done for our family and my mom. Express my love to my kids. Grandma's gone, but Laura, my youngest here, that was my mom's one. Every time she woke up, she always asked for Laura, but Laura was at her other grandma's house all the time. She's like, why can't I have her for some time? I'm like, well, can't really take care of her. She's a little bit younger than everybody else, but I'd like to thank each and every one of you, express my love to you, and I'd like to say that you guys say amen.
For those of you who don't know me, my name is Henry White. I'm like this roommate, and these are all my kids. Meleana she was nice. She was, when we first met 20 plus years ago when we got married, she was the nicest lady I ever met. Until we got into our first fight. I was like, wow, this lady. She was jumping on my back and I said, who is this? Oh, I'd like to get your mom. But no, seriously, she really was. She was the nicest all the time. She always had the nicest demeanor every morning. Yeah, every morning I would take the kids to school and she would text me, can you bring me a donut? Whatever you want. Can you bring me 2? Whatever you want. Just don't tell like that, okay? You'll be fine. As long as you don't tell like that, I'll bring you whatever you want. She goes, okay, then go McDonald's too? Oh no, I can't do that. McDonald's too far. But yeah, no, she always loved my kids. She always loved all my family. And my family loved her too. You know, for all my family that met her when she was in Missouri and knew her, they all loved her. They loved the way she was with them. I mean, she was honest. She always spoke her mind. Sometimes you kind of didn't want to hear it, but sometimes you needed to hear it. I mean, I needed to hear it a lot. I haven't been the best most of the time, but she would always let me know when I was doing good. I just, I'm gonna miss her. She was always the good spirit that we needed in our house. And now that she's gone, I hope we can try to find that good spirit that she brought to our home. Meleana, we're gonna miss you. We love you. Thank you guys all for everything that you guys have done. I say these things in the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
Hello. For those who don't know me, I'm the oldest kid and the oldest daughter. Toasa, I'm not Oli. That's the other daughter. These past couple of years living with my grandma have been a time to say the least. She was always, she was like our number one supporter when it came to anything. She was our alarm clock. She was our gourmet chef. If there was anything left in the cabinets, she was always a shoulder for me to lean on whenever I felt that the load I was carrying was too strong. As the oldest kid and the oldest daughter, I always went to her and talked to her for a pick-me-up. Granted, it always ended up in her asking me to go get her food, but it was okay. She was lended a listening ear, I stand up here before you guys on behalf of me and the rest of my siblings. And I just wanted to say thank you to each and every one of you who helped, or thank you for just being here. Just thank you for loving my grandma the way she needed to be loved, especially after my grandpa passed. After that, she needed all the love and support she could get. Yeah, I just want to say thank you all so much, and I love you all so much. I'm gonna miss you, Grandma. I'm gonna miss you asking me to take you to Burger King after dialysis. I'm gonna miss you asking me for a number one with the large Sprite. I'm gonna miss karaokeing in the living room. I'm gonna miss the sound of your slippers in the hallway. Even if it was in the middle of the night when you were walking to the kitchen, I knew it was always you. I'm gonna miss you, and I love you, and I love all of you too. And I say these things in Jesus Christ, amen.
Kola beke o hu whanga tupe he ngai whakatapoko o si whai atu nei mo ati. Kai atama ko ke o whai aki mana tu melia ki he whae ko ni. Ko kuingoa ako whakalelu whunga leu Maumalanga. Kumbali ka saia. Mai ma whanau e toko ono. I have two favorite memories with Meleana. One of them is when Saya and I were dating. One time I was on Facebook and Meleana had commented on Saya's picture. And she said, "Son, you need to start drinking lemon water. Your face is kind of fat." And when I read that, I was like, this is the kind of mother-in-law I want. Because me and her can both clown on her son. The second favorite memory I have of her we would come to Texas and she would be here and she would have dialysis and me and Sai would go and pick her up. And Sai was so excited to surprise her. So she gets in the truck and she always sat behind us. She never liked to sit in the front. And she got in the truck and she said, and Sai was like, "Hi, Mom." She's like, "Saya, you need to look like a Mormon." And I already knew Saya was starting to get mad. And I'm just sitting there like, yes, keep going. And she's like, "Saya, you need to cut your hair, you need to shave, you need to do this." And so they go back and forth the whole 30 minutes all the way home. And so that's one thing I really loved about this woman. She was a great mom. She always told you what you needed to hear. She never told you what you wanted to hear. It was always the blunt truth. And that's what a mother's love is. She always wants the best for you. So, Meleana Maumalanga, thank you for everything you've done for us, our little family. Every time she would call, Saya would have her on speaker. And if she heard me in the back, she would, "Hi, Lelu," say, "Hi, Mom." And she would always say, "Lelu, my Lord, si ofa whanau Saya." She said it every single time, and Saya was like, "Mom, why do you always have to bring that up?" And Meleana would say, "Go ya si hela ia Lelu whanau." So I will always miss this lady. She always had my back. She loved me like a daughter. And we don't have 2 of our kids here, but 4 of them are here. But I just want to express my love to you, Mom. I'm so happy for you because I know exactly where you're at. Rest peacefully.
Hopefully you don't hear me. I get irritated if people don't talk in the mic. I got so many memories of my mom. The last memory I have is, probably the last thing she said to me was, "You know, all families always have a black sheep." And I was already thinking Sheila, Penny. And my mom said, "How come I have 5? I can't even make that up. My mom said, "Oh, get the fuck, mama." You know, I'm kind of lost for words because my mom prepared me for this day. When my grandpa died, I didn't cry because I knew where they were going. My grandma passed, I already knew where they were going because they taught us that when we were growing up. When my dad passed, I kind of cried because I didn't know where he was going. And then my mom, she prepared all of us for this day, me and my siblings. And it's a story that I'll tell later, but since we were kids, my mom swore we were going to go to Star Search. 3 years old, in the basement, she used to make us wake up, and sing Elvis Presley. It's like Sheila said, my mom named her after my dad's crush. And Sheila's middle name is my mom's favorite neighbor, Mary Jo. 2 white ladies. And she swore one day one of her kids was going to make a Star Search. And she told us that every day. She put it in our ears and sing. And she always made me sing that song, and I hated that song. I mean, I used to love it, but it got to the point where I hated that song. Because then I see my dad singing it, then I get jealous because I think she liked my dad more than me. And that's how everyone knew them, is singing at all the functions, or even sometimes the but that's what she loved. She loved eating and karaoke. I think that's why I take after her. I'm happy today. When I heard, when we came down here for Alcia's birthday, when we landed and we got to the hotel, I was ready to go sleep and I got the phone call, and all I heard was Lefty screaming on the phone. It said, Mom passed. Immediately, I was gonna get mad. I was like, who did it? What hospital was it? Who's the doctor? I'm gonna kill her. And then I said, don't say nothing. We came here for our uncle's birthday, and that's what we're gonna do. Nobody say nothing, nobody tell nobody, and all of a sudden I heard someone posted it. But she done posted it before I even found out. I could have been mad because whatever the reason was that happened, it was supposed to happen. My mom told me that. She told me that one day this will happen. There's nothing we can do about it. That's the plan. Even my dad's funeral, she begged me to sing the Elvis Presley song. And I'm so upset that I sang it anyway, angry. We had her birthday, we had a surprise birthday party for her. And the only thing she remembered was, how come you didn't sing my song? Or how come you didn't let me sing a song? And Mom, it was a surprise, last minute surprise. All the requests, that's all she ever wanted, was for us to go back to church and sing Elvis Presley songs. I remember 3 years ago, I was living in Montana. I had just received my priesthood. A week later, Jeff called me and told me, I think Mom's gonna pass. You better come down. She's in Salt Lake. She came to visit. Now she's in ICU. If you want to see her, come. You gotta come now. Right then, I remembered. Maybe that's why 40 years later, I finally got my priesthood for this moment right here. I flew to Utah. Me and another walked in the room. My mom's crouched up in the bed. I was like, man, I'm too late. She's gone. Big old bed, and she's crouched up. She looked like she was gone. And I remember I walked up to the bed, and I put my hand on her. And I said, Mom, I'm going to give you a blessing. She said, what? She almost said, don't touch me. She sat up in the bed and said, what? What do you mean? I go, Mom, I got my priesthood. She goes, no, let me see the paper. Let me see the paper. Really? I said, I just got my priesthood last week, and I think it was for this moment. She looked at me, a look I've never seen in her face. A feeling that I'll never deny ever again. We laid our hands upon her, and I felt like the room was floating. And I swear to you, my mom didn't go to the hospital. She wasn't sick until the day she passed. She told me 3 weeks ago, you know, I never had a dream about your dad. was like, that's not romantic. She said, no, I've never had a dream about your dad, but you know what? I had a dream about him last night. I go, what happened? You know, I think he was trying to come get me. And I was like, I don't like hearing that because, I mean, I know what that means. And then a week later, she told me again, I had a dream about your dad again. He looked like he's just laughing, and I feel like he wants me to come. I go, Mom, don't go nowhere. Tell him to come. Tell him don't come visit you no more. And the weekend before she passed, that Saturday, she told me that my grandpa, she saw my grandpa. And I know the Tommy superstition. I know I told the stories and whatever. But she told me that I kind of knew. She said she hasn't dreamt about her dad in a long time. But she was happy that grandpa came to see her. Like I said, my mom's been ready to go. I've always done what my mom told me to do. And I'm not crying today because she's gone. I'm crying because all the faces in here, everyone in here I grew up with, everyone here I learned from, everyone here that loved my mom, everyone has a story about her. And I wish we had time for everyone to come up here and share that story. When I see my little nephew in that lead, I'm always excited to see him. Everyone tells me he looks like me. I say, yeah, so that means I'm gonna make you act like me. And he told me, I go, what is your best memory of grandma? One time my dad told me to go ask grandma what she wanted to eat. And grandma said, I want 2 supreme tacos. And then 20 minutes, this is exactly what he said. And then 20 minutes later, she goes, Henry, I want 3 supreme tacos. All right, but Henry was over there walking around. And then Henry went got the order, came back, and he said, you know what grandma said? I go, what? She said, Henry, if I don't get my 3 supreme tacos, I'm gonna slap you. Remember, he's a little kid. Man, that's fucking awful. Because you know my mom was all about her food. But I used to get mad when my mom asked me to sing this song. I never wanted to sing it. But it was her favorite thing in the world. And I hope I can make it through this song. I'm going to sing it for her. Willingly. Only fool falling in love with you. Shall I stay? Would it be surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things are meant to be. like a river flow surely to the sea. Darling, so it goes. Some things are meant to be. Take my hand, take my whole heart too. For falling in love. For falling in love with you. I love you guys. I say these things only in the name of the Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Leo ya ko lo pe ta na e ta na de am. Ele pe ya ko to. Leo pe fi ma pe ke ta wa de. Ko ya ko o fa ya ke te mo to le dai. Fa mo ya na to no ko fa. Pe ko pe ma.
Hello, family. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Meleana. I'm named after Papa Siamo. I was born on his birthday. I'm also the fourth oldest grandchild. Just wanted to read a verse from the Bible. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verses 13 through 14 states, "Brothers and sisters, we do not want you to be uninformed about those who sleep in death, so that you do not grave like the rest of mankind who have no hope. For we believe that Jesus died and rose again, and so we believe that God will bring with Jesus those who have fallen asleep." Grandma Miller was a lady who I always found comfort in. From the beginning, she was always there for me. She's the face that comes to mind when talking about early childhood memories. She's one of the many woman figures that helped me mold me into who I am today. Just wanted to share a few memories my favorite memories with her. Every time I see her, she'd always tell me that she wants me to be a nurse. And I'm like, why do you want me to be a nurse? She always says that every time I see her. She was so adamant on having me be a nurse, and I was like, okay, Grandma, I will. But that didn't happen. Her love for Quick Trip cakes was unbelievable, like Auntie Lyda said. I took her to dialysis a few times earlier this year. And she always says, every time I picked her up, she was always like, so what are we gonna eat? I go, what do you mean? She goes, oh, well, I'm hungry. I go, well, what do you want? It was either Burger King or Little Caesars. Obviously, Essa stated her go-to choice, the number one. She was so picky because she didn't want the fries, and I was like, I don't know. But we would get it, and then we go to Quick Trip. She said, can we stop at Quick Trip to get my cakes? I always shook my head. I was like, okay, Grandma, whatever you want. I'm just surprised she didn't tell me to grab all 3 boxes that were lined up next to each other. I just grabbed one for her and one for me. She had funny comments about when me and Essa were younger. She always made fun of our weight. Always called me Fetty 1 and Fetty 2. And then Sila was the big Fetty. And they call us the Fetty triplets. Man, it was trauma. I was so sad. I was like, why is this funny to you? It's not funny to me. But now it's funny now because younger, like older memories. Tiny Bubbles was our song. And she taught me a dance to it, but I don't know if I remember it. Karaoke, you guys probably heard that this whole time during the service. Karaoke was a top priority for her, top hobby. She's the reason why Grease is one of my favorite movies. I always watch it here and now and then, always remember her. It's her and Papa Siona's fault that I'm big, because we always used to go to Chinese buffets when I was little, and now I'm addicted. It's always, every time my dad asks, you're like, where you guys want to go eat? It's always a Chinese buffet. My siblings hate that, and I'm like, oh, well, sorry, I'm the oldest, you know, jeez. Every time I go see her, when we go to Auntie Letha's for the weekend, every time I go in her room to go say hi, she's always watching reruns of American Idol and X Factor or America's Got Talent. And I'm like, Grandma, didn't I see you watch this last time I saw you? But I mean, she's so obsessed with those. This is probably not funny to y'all, but it's funny to us grandchildren. I don't know why she can't pronounce her R's, but she always, every time she's eating, she always say, Juana, go get my drink. My drink. I said, Mama, what's that? She goes, my drink. And then she pointed to the water. I was like, oh, your drink. Okay. So now me and the grandchildren always say drink, and we always laugh because it reminds us of her. Whenever we went over there, she cooked for us sometimes. It was mostly Saimini. We had that with ground beef, and that was like the bomb diggity. But then one time she put frozen veggies, and I looked and I was like, what is this? Like, this is not what we had last time. And I told Dad, and he said, man, she's just freestyling in the kitchen. She always do that. I'm like, girl, don't do that with me. And then my last favorite one was me and Essa doing TikToks in her hospital room. She was in bed, and me and Essa would just set up the camera facing her, and we're on each side of the bed, and she's watching her shows, and I'll play it loud, like on purpose. She's like, hey, turn that off. It's too loud. I can't watch my show. I'm like, chill out, Grandma. And then she was just constantly telling us to turn it off, and I would laugh because she looked really irritated and annoyed with us, and so we did it, and then we just turned it off, and then we'd laugh about it. But these are things I'm gonna miss about my grandma. Even though I didn't live with her, I always felt her spirit with me. And I know she's in a better place with our Heavenly Father. She's not hurting anymore. I just hope we get to meet soon. And that I love you. And I know you're dancing with Papa Soda right now and watching over us. And I love you guys, and I thank you for the support for Grandma's memorial. And say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
My name is Maumalanga. I'm the oldest, the original black sheep. Unconditional love. Something my mom had dealing with me as the oldest. My time is short, so I'm gonna keep this short and simple. Unconditional love. An example of that is in my teens, I went on a long vacation, 6 years long. Where the unconditional love part comes in is, we were poor, we didn't have anything. When it came time to pay the bills, my dad would give my mom the money to go pay whatever bill he needed her to pay. She would go get a money order, go to the post office, and send it to me. Now the lights are off. But she had to deal with it because I was in there. My mom did this. Every now and then she would do this. He'd give me the money to go pay a bill, and she'll send it to me. She felt sorry for me, even though it's my own doing. my dad would tell them, would tell her to tell me, why don't you tell your friends? Just say you want, think you want to be a bad actor. I appreciated my mom for that love that she had. I'm not a very good public speaker, so please forgive me. I imagine my dad being happy when they first see each other in heaven. I picture my mom saying something like, "Oh, you did make it up here." That's just her humor, you know. She'll say that. I want to thank everybody for coming out, showing all the love and support. Everybody took the time, so I just wanted to keep that short and simple, and I want to express my love to all of you. To my Uncle Hasia, Anna, thank you. I love you guys very much. Say these names, Jesus Christ. Pamaro ki he family ko we going. Kaya mari ko na tama ko ano mo na to. Na higeni ko na to na pai ati teu ki pekia mo kata ki mo na mai ko khi biết phải phi lót của đi, em mà đây là tàu hoa về cái tàu mình đi. whai loa ki pēna mo mai, ka ngā ko māunga e ka ngā wei e whakau ka tongia.
I know, I'm gonna tell them to go ahead and move back after. They're gonna come say bye
Ikai mano
be mua ke whakaose tau programa to ka family. Ke whakaose ka tau lo. Koe programa koni o e hono maranga i e whai e whalotu. Hono kua. Ke whakaose mua e tau programa koni ngā ka tau mou mea ki wharelotu. Kai whakamau popo e ngau e kau ngau e. Ase family. Ia te tau kore ki a Pelila. Pelila ko e ne whae lahia ki a Ipeki a. Ko ia e whae Pelila sau lotu. Ke a tupatoa ki mou tolu ke mou mea ati ki wharelot. Ke teu e programa koko mai. Maro.
Dear Father in heaven, we're so thankful for all the family and friends here today to celebrate Aunty Marianne's celebration of life. We ask you that you're to help the children get through this time because Aunty Marianne has prepared the children. We know that it's not going that they'll be okay. We ask you to bless everything that has come out here. On to the lessons of
Maro, family makai, o katate mo o mea ki wharelota. Ngā pamarak mai e teo e programa o mai ki kai da programa o a maari mo e maosi mai e ki a Maro.
Tell them to take it, gather all your siblings and kids and you guys all are right under. So gather them. Don't worry about it. Oh, no, you're good. Yeah, say that man. Yes.
You guys coming this way? Okay.
So why me? Nata na niyo sa akin.
Kasi yun, nag-i-at eh.
Hindi pa katongan, tiyos. Hi, pusta.
I was like, Dala, skip this part.